Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Leon, and after 15 years in finance, I want to take you on a journey to actually show you which tools and informations you need to navigate the markets to reach the financial goals you have. So if you're ready to take your finances to the next level, like and subscribe, and let's jump in. Hello, and yep, you heard it right. $1 trillion are about to enter the market. I know, 1 trillion, it sounds ridiculous. But where's all this money coming from, and what is actually the consequence of it? This is what we want to speak about today. And I want to show you how this can impact the market and why this is so important, especially when I'm invested in risk assets like tech stocks, altcoins, Bitcoin, crypto in general. So let's jump in and have a look how this can actually impact my bags and why this is so important for the economy. So Europe just announced that they are going to print another 800 billion to invest it into the defense industry. 500 billion are actually supposed to come from Germany. And I have no idea how they're going to pay it because they make new debt of 120 billion a year. That means the debt that they plan to actually pay just for the defense investment is 5 years of new debt that they actually make right now. And this is important to know because in Germany right now they talk about changing the laws to actually raise the debt ceiling. And then they plan to introduce something called fiscal flexibility. I know it's a fancy word, but it means nothing else than injecting liquidity into the markets. And the EU is planning to suspend budget deficit limits. So this allows member states actually to increase borrowing for defense. And my question that comes up in general is, if it starts here for defense, where do we stop? What do you think? Like, do you really think they raise the debt ceiling? They say, okay, we print more money, push it into the markets, and then we can actually buy some weapons from it, buy stuff for the military from it, and there we stop? I don't think so. I think Europe has more issues and they all need more money. So they're just gonna continue, because if this border is crossed and the gap is and the line is gone and they can actually do what they want, why would they stop? Why would they stop? And the consequence of this is really important because this means that the global money supply is going to grow. China just announced they're going to put 200 billion into the market. They actually have planned a package of 1 trillion. So there's so much liquidity coming into the market, and all this is going to push the M2 money supply higher, which means we have more liquidity in the markets, which means scarce assets are going to rise. Scarce assets are things like gold, like Bitcoin, things that you don't have an unlimited amount of. And those are the ones that actually get the raise, because it's very simple. If you think there's $1 trillion in the world, let's say, and there's 10 houses, just to simplify everything, then you would say, okay, 1 trillion divided by 10 is the price for every house if you use all this money to buy the houses. Now, let's say we print a double amount of money, but there is not the double amount of houses. So there's still 10 houses, but we have $2 trillion. But all this money is made for is buying houses. So what happens? The price of the house doubles, which doesn't mean it actually went up in value. It just means the currency I buy the house with has been devalued. And with Bitcoin, this can't happen because we have only 21 million. And with gold, this can't happen because there's just a certain supply. The problem with fiat currency is that they just debase everything, because what they do now, they just print, and it's super inflationary. So in the long run, I think that these actions that are happening right now actually highly likely, in combination with the tariffs in the US, could cause a new wave of inflation, which will hit every one of us. In the short term, it's very possible that this is positive for risk assets because interest rates are going down. Because imagine the state of Germany is borrowing money and they have to pay interest rate every year. Like every state. The US, China, every state has to pay interest every year. And as higher the interest is, as bigger the interest payment is. So what they want is that interest rates actually come down. The problem is that if they put interest rates down, inflation is going to go up. So it's a little gamble with the numbers. I think it's just going to lead to more problems if they just inject more and more liquidity, what they are actually doing right now. In the long run. In the short run, it might fix the problem, it might buy the weapons that we want to buy, but in the long run, it's just going to raise inflation. So it's very important to understand the connections of this. And it's not direct money printing, but as soon as the ECB joins, it becomes pretty much direct money printing. And let's see where this goes. I have a chart for you that I would like to have a look at. This is actually the correlation of Bitcoin and the M2 global money supply. And you can see that they're pretty connected. Like every time the money supply goes up, Bitcoin goes up. And this has to do with, first of all, what I just told you, that it's a scarce asset. There's just a certain amount of Bitcoin. So if the currency gets devalued, the price of Bitcoin goes up. The price of real estate goes up, and so on and so forth. All scarce assets go up in price. The thing is that they just gonna continue this now, and we don't know where they're gonna stop, because it's 800 billion in Europe, 500 billion from Germany. As I said, it's 5 times the yearly debt that they take on average again. And then there's China. They have no end in sight. They need to save their economy. They have big trouble. Then there is the US, which hasn't started yet, and I think this is what holds markets back. But tomorrow there's the crypto summit in the White House. Let's see what comes out there. I have no idea. As you see on YouTube right now, every video is about that, so I thought I'd speak about something else. You can find the guest list all over. It's quite interesting. I'm very interested how this is going to turn out. Don't want to bet on that, to be honest. But what I think is really important is to see what is actually happening with the money supply right now, because this is going to dictate where the market is going next. And if the money supply is rising, our Bitcoin price is going to rise. If America buys or not, of course, this could be a booster. But I think overall, this is the most important chart we have to have a look on. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Ciao.